welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nelly V. Hope y'all are doing well. We are back at it again with another Married at First Sight review. Y'all, okay, this week's episode was a lot was going on, as always, but you know, a new train wreck of a couple has entered the chat. Chris and Paige have faded into the background. Enter Virginia and Erik, because that was crazy. That was actually crazy. But we're gonna get into it. You know, I have been doing a lot of different things. For last week's episode, I did a live, so if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that on my channel. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, like, turn on the bell for post notifications so you can see when I post, because I try to post on Fridays, but you know, sometimes things don't go according to plan. So just make sure you click the bell so you can get notified when I post every week for the Married at First Sight reviews and all my other content as well. But let's get into this episode. All right, you know how we do on the channel. We start with Briana and Vincent because they're just so easy. Things are continuing to go well for them. They did a little bike riding date. They getting on their fitness, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was so funny when they were talking about date ideas and Vincent was like, have you heard of the HOME? Like, that was so funny to me. I actually paused the TV so I could laugh. But yeah, I mean, Briana told the girls that is, you know, Vincent is what she needed. He's so sweet to her. He really cares for her. And again, I'm just happy things are going well for them. All the drama from everybody else is overshadowing them. So, like, I don't know, you know, like I told y'all last week, I want to see them have some more tough conversations about, like, realistically what their relationship is going to look like after, you know, Married at First Sight, you know, after the experiment. But for now, everything is going well. They even got them trying to counsel the other couples. But we'll get into that when we talk about Haley and Jacob. But anyways, yeah, everything is going well for them. So that's the saving grace of the show, because honestly, everybody else needs to get divorced. But, or everybody else should get divorced. Are they going to get divorced? We don't know. But anyways, that's Briana and Vincent. All right, Paige and Chris. You know, they weren't together in this episode, thank God. But we saw Paige talking to her brother, telling him everything that's happened. Her brother gave some good advice. I mean, he was pretty chill. He was just like, you know, you gave it your fair shot. You gave it a chance. It didn't work out. You know, move on. So I wish, you know, she had spoken to him earlier. Maybe, you know, it would have prevented a lot of back and forth that happened. But, you know, it is what it is. Because, you know, Paige has just been so caught up on, like, we took vows and committed to this process. And her brother was just like, let it go. It didn't work out, you know? So, yeah, I'm glad that Paige is finally seeing the light. She's finally acknowledging that, you know, she was so wrapped up into the title and wrapped up into the process that she kind of lost herself. I'd like to say this is, you know, she's seeing the light and she's gonna, you know, go on and make better decisions, but you just never know with Paige. You just never know, because I keep seeing these people in the previews. I keep seeing both of them, Chris and Paige, in the previews. So it's like, obviously the madness is gonna continue. The funniest part of the episode was when they were showing that dog segment with all the husbands with their dogs. They had the audacity to show Chris and he was like, I don't give a F about Bentley. I felt like that's just so telling, because he don't give a F about Bentley. He don't give a F about Paige. So anyways, so we saw Chris also talking to his mom about, you know, giving her an update on where him and Paige stand. And the mom, see, I already didn't like the mom from the wedding and the whole, you know, honeymoon mess and everything. She's like, yeah, Paige is a great girl. And then she's acting like all disappointed that it didn't work out. But then she's like, I understand. I just don't like her because I feel like she doesn't even call out Chris, you know, like she doesn't even call him out on his behavior or his actions that have led to this. It obviously seems like Chris has been coddled and babied his whole life, and that's why he is the way he is. So I just can't take her seriously. And then when they're talking about it, you know, Chris is laughing, he's smirking when he's telling, you know, when he's talking about the story. So it just shows like he doesn't care. It comes off so insincere, you know. Chris tells his mom, like, you know me, like, I wasn't interested, and, you know, if I don't have interest, then it's just hard for me to, you know, do things, blah, 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 something to that effect. And it's like, don't act like you weren't interested at one point, you know, like you didn't say, oh, I'm scared of falling in love with you, Paige, and like, I want a serious relationship, and da-da-da. Like, it's just so wishy-washy, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop acting like you was, you know, so perfect and you didn't send mixed messages this whole entire time. All right, so next we have Haley and Jacob, which I'm over these people too, because they're doing yet another reset, whatever that means, because nobody is really resetting anything. You know, I guess, you know, after their 1 month anniversary thing, it turned into, you know, a fight, as we saw last week. Jacob said he ended up, you know, apologizing to her. And it's just like Jacob keeps holding things in, and then he waits for an in, and then he lashes out on everything that is wrong with Haley. And it's like they're not getting anywhere. And then they keep saying that they're gonna reset, but it's like, again, if you're not really ready to like really start on a clean slate and forgive one another, then it's not gonna get anywhere, you know. And I feel like Jacob, he doesn't know how to communicate effectively. And they both lack communication problems. They both are definitely, they need to get better at communication. But I feel like the way, you know, Jacob, you know, responds to Haley is so quick to just like, okay, I don't know what to do, you know? So, yeah. And I think it's so funny how Jacob was talking about his dog, like, his dog Chloe, like, you know, he just attacks anybody that, you know, is not in my crew, you know? And that's kind of how Jacob is too. He's just like, he just be barking and just attacking her, and she's just sitting there. Haley's dog is just sitting there like, what are you doing, you know? So their interactions just continue to be awkward. Their conversations, he doesn't really ask things about her. Like, they showed the most awkward clips of them, and it was just like so cringe. So I don't know what a reset is gonna do for them, if anything. They did have some light moments, you know. They went go-kart racing, and then they kind of like, I didn't like how they were kind of like sending, you know, Briana and Vincent to kind of like counsel Haley and Jacob. Like, the producers were like, you know, give them advice and stuff like that. And Brianna's like, they can only do, you know, what they want to do. And it's like, I kind of feel like that's kind of like how Woody and Amani was last semester. I mean, last season, like, you know, being in everybody's business just because they were the couple, the clear couple that, you know, is gonna make it. Same thing with, you know, Briana and Vincent. And it's like, it's not their job to give people advice. They're in the same pace of the process as they are, you know what I'm saying? And what works for Briana and Vincent might not work for Haley and Jacob, obviously, because they're still having problems. And it's like, it's not their job. It's the expert's job, but the experts aren't experting. So that's another thing in itself. But it's like, just everybody, just let them be. Let Haley and Jacob be. They're going to figure it out if they're meant to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think they are, but it is what it is. All right. So Ryan and Clara, you know, they're still struggling with this sex issue. It has kind of even escalated to a whole nother thing. And it's just crazy because Ryan is so in the dark about everything. And I mean, I admit that Clara isn't completely being forthcoming, because she even said at the end, like, you know, I haven't really talked to Ryan about this, but she is like reaching a breaking point. And then Ryan is out here talking about, I think our relationship is 99% better than any of the relationships on Married at First Sight. Where? How? Where did you collect this survey that led you to believe that? Okay, sir. Claire's emotionally frustrated with you. You are not emotionally available to her. There's no affection. You're not giving her what she needs. You're just getting what you want. Okay? So what makes you think you've been this shining, incredible husband and that you can give advice? Again, why are y'all giving... I mean, okay, I understand y'all are all in this process together, so it's nice to have support, but you know, you guys have been married all at the same time. So I can't listen to you. You don't even know what's going on with your wife. So why would I be listening to you? He, like, I thought that was a joke. Like, I really thought he was being sarcastic. But then he kept it going. I'm like, oh, this man is serious. He's serious. He seriously believes he's done everything good. Just delusional, just like Erik. It's like, that's why these people would get along so well. You see how chummy Erik and Ryan are? It's unsettling because they're both crazy. Anyways, he comes back, you know, from their little boys' time. And, you know, Clara, they're talking about trust. And Clara, you could tell, Clara is not even engaging in the conversation. Ryan is just rambling on and on about trust. And Clara is just like, this is a load of BS. Like, she is over it. She goes and she vents to the girls at Haley and Jacob's house. And she's like, you know, we are doing other sexual things. So this does not make sense to me at all. And, you know, I honestly, if I was Clara, I would just take sex off the table. Because it's like, I know that she wants it, but I think she needs to, like, take it back into her control and be like, well, I'm not going to please you. I'm not going to do anything because I'm not getting what I want. And maybe that's petty and, you know, maybe that's not the mature way to handle it. But I think that would be the way to give Ryan a wake-up call because, you know, she's like, it doesn't make sense to me if we're doing other sexual things. Why haven't we had, like, intercourse? And it's like, just take everything off the table and see how quick he builds trust then, okay? See how quick you start checking off all these things on the checklist. He's saying there's no checklist, but obviously there is. But he's saying that it's just like, it's just time. It's just time. But I don't know if he hasn't done a good job of communicating that to Clara because this girl is about ready to walk out on you. And you out here talking about, I'm 99% better than the rest of the married at first relationships. What? I feel like they were trying to put it on Clara this episode, like making her seem like she was so pressed about sex, like with the whole, you know, her trying to do the yoga, the tantric yoga and all of that. But, I mean, she says the same thing every episode. She's waiting on him, you know. She's just trying to encourage it, I guess. But I think that, like, she's already expressed that it's just sex for her. So it's just the act. She doesn't care. Obviously, it matters way more to Ryan. But I don't think they're obviously not talking about, like, listen. Because I don't know. I wanted to believe that, like, Ryan is just taking things slow because he really cares about her and doesn't want to rush things and stuff. But Clara has already said that doesn't matter to her. So even if, like, they break up or whatever, it's just going to be sex to her, you know? But I don't know. They're obviously not on the same page. So they need to get on the same page and quickly. All right, lastly, we have Erik and Virginia. I was just typing away when they were on the screen because there was just so many toxic behaviors displayed. I was like, yeah, Virginia, pack your bags, run, walk away, leave, okay? And I know Erik would be like, leave me like everybody else has in my life. Oh, I'm just so tired of him. Erik and these ultimatums, bro, they have got to go. They were literally just sitting in bed having a conversation. They talking about the dog. She's like, this is my dog. He said, well, it's half mine too. Unless you want to leave this marriage. 0 to 100. The situation didn't even call for all of that. You're taking things so far. And it's like, for what? Like, that's not helping. She already has said, you know, she's prone to running and she wants to leave. You telling her to leave is not helping. She wants to stay in this marriage. She wants to work things out with you. And you're just like pushing her away. She's seeking to be listened to. She's seeking to be understood. And you're not willing to compromise in any way. You're not listening to what she needs. And it's just, I saw a tweet on Twitter and it described Erik perfectly. It was like, if my way or the highway was a person. And I'm like, exactly. That is exactly, like, Erik just does not see any other way but his way. And it's all like, I've been married before and da-da-da. Stop bringing that up. Okay? Your marriage failed. So I don't want to hear that anymore. Be in this relationship, you and Virginia. This is a new relationship. Plain, like, clean slate. Stop comparing her. Because it's like, that's just making her feel even more anxious. And I don't understand how he doesn't see that, you know? He's so controlling, y'all. He is so controlling. He wants to train Rocky just like he wants to train Virginia, you know? It's like, and the things that he's saying about Rocky, like, I love Rocky and I just want her, but I just want him to be like this. Those are subtle digs at Virginia's character, because they talk about all the time how Virginia is just like her dog and Erik is just like his dog. And so it's like, when you're saying like, I just want it to be like this and he just needs a little this, I can understand why she's taking it personally. You know, it's like you're digging at her character and then you're mad that she's getting defensive. Then in the interview, in the you know, behind the scenes, he's like, I don't get the big deal, it's just a dog. Well, then if it's just a dog, then why are you making it such a big deal, you know? It's just so many problems, so many red flags, you know, and I knew that Erik was controlling, but just the way he was talking to her, he talks to her like she's a child, like Virginia is grown. You keep trying to come across like you're trying to protect her, like, you know, with the bar situation, you were gone for 40 minutes, I'm just looking out for you, blah, blah, blah. She's grown. She's grown, you know, and she said, you didn't even try to text me, you didn't try to call me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just wanted to blow up on her when they got to the house. And I don't like the language that he uses. Like, he's like, oh, you're lucky I did this and I canceled this for you. And, you know, it's just very, I don't even know what other word to say but toxic, you know, and the gaslighting and just like making it seem like it's her fault. Like, it's problematic. It's problematic. And these two do not need to stay together. I know they love each other. I know the love is there, but that's not enough. I'm telling you, key toxic behavior is when you tell somebody what's wrong with you and they flip it and they flip it and they make it about him, you know? He said, you know, Virginia was saying like, oh, you know, I just feel like I'm changing. I just feel like, you know, so much is happening. He's like, do you feel like I'm the one changing you? Because if not, then there's the door. Bring it back, big boy. Like, bring it back. That's not what she's saying. She's trying to like just express how she feels and you're taking it so personal, you know, like it's an attack on you. Nobody's saying she doesn't want to be with you, even though she shouldn't, but she's not saying that. So relax, okay? And he keeps saying things like, you know, I know this is a touchy subject and I know you love the dog. You know these things, but do you understand them? You know what I'm saying? And are you willing to just meet her where she's at, you know? It's just a yike. All of it is a yike, you know. And Erik keeps saying like, I never want to get divorced again. It don't matter what you want, okay? Because you might need to, okay? I think both of them need to, you know, work on some issues personally, before they can be together. Because even just the dynamic, you know, Erik is like, or Virginia's like, you know, Erik wants me to need him and to depend on him and, you know, make him feel like he's the man and all of that. And she was like, I never really, you know, saw that in my life. You know, that dynamic is not something I'm used to. And I think it's something that she's, you know, willing to learn. But, like, it's going to take time. And Erik is kind of forcing it on her. You know, she's highly independent. And then also, you know, just coming from her background of divorced parents, like, she's not used to needing anybody. So you got to be patient with her. You know, it's not going to come as naturally. But you don't need to be saying, like, oh, this is what a marriage is supposed to be like, you know, because then you come off like you know everything and she doesn't know anything, you know? And, like, when they had their second conversation, like, on the couch that still ended up in a blow up, you know, Erik was like, I'm stressed too. I mean, I'm handling it a tad better. Why are you putting her down? Why are you trying to belittle her? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. He's not willing to compromise. He's not willing to listen to her opinion. It's just, and the girl is stressed. Like, I felt like, dang, I felt sad, like, just seeing her in tears. She was in tears, like, half the episode. And it's like, as her partner, you should have been trying to comfort her instead of making it about you. You know, and I guess, you know, he doesn't know, he's learning how to comfort her because, you know, she didn't want to be touched. She didn't want to, you know, be bothered. She just wanted to be heard, you know? And then just seeing, like, the behind the scenes stuff, like, the way he was talking to her, like, said that she was acting like an asshole and, like, all of this stuff, like, and that's just, like, that's like off camera, even though they're being filmed, 24/7. Imagine, like when they really fight, how ugly it's getting, like that's just it's not productive energy. So I don't know. And then it's like, it seems like Virginia, almost she alluded to the fact that like she didn't want to talk about this subject again, or she didn't want to talk about it on camera or something. And it seems like Erik is not, listening or respecting that she made that request, That's how I took it. And even the way that like when Erik was talking with the guys, like he's like, I love Rocky, but he's just like, I train Tex and da-da-da. It's like he still believes that he's right. He still believes that he's right. And Vincent and Jacob are like, you got to compromise and try to see things from Virginia's perspective. And him and Ryan are like, well, I mean, da-da-da-da-da. Toxic. Both of y'all, okay? Both of y'all. So, Erik doesn't get it. Erik doesn't get it. And then you can tell Erik still doesn't even want to acknowledge that there's a problem. And it's because his solution is just to fix things his way. He's like, even when he was talking, he's like, I mean, things kind of took a downturn to an extent, or, we're still fine. I mean, da-da-da. It was just a slight disagreement. You're not acknowledging the whole picture, and that, you're delusional if you think that things are still okay. Like, this is going to continue to be an issue, That's her dog. That's her baby. Your dog is your baby, and y'all are going to y'all have to find a way to live copacetically. But at the same time, it's like, just accept the dog. Just accept the dog. Just accept Virginia. That's the problem. You keep saying you don't want to change her, but you're like, well, you need to learn that this is what a marriage looks like, and this is what you need to do, and da-da-da-da. And you say, like, I love the dog, I love Rocky, but he needs more manners, and he needs this, and he needs that. Again, he probably does need those things. They said he bites people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but it's the way you bring things up and the way that you say things. Their resolution at the end wasn't really a resolution for me. I mean, it didn't satisfy me. He didn't apologize. He didn't take any responsibility for all the things that he said or just how he came across. So yeah, again, I'm no longer in support of this marriage. I don't think I was a supporter from day one, though. I can't remember what I said. I have to go back and look at my first impression video. But so much has happened, and Erik it's a no for me. True colors have been shown, and Virginia, she needs to wake up and see what's happening here, because it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. All right, y'all. So that was episode 12. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about Erik and Virginia and just all the other couples and the dogs and everything this, episode. I will see y'all next week for next week's review. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.